Welcome back, disc golf fans, to the 2023 MVP Open at Maple Hill, presented by OTB. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour playoff event presented by Barbasol. We've made it to moving day here, round 3 of 4, the Maple Hill Disc Golf Course up in Massachusetts. I'm Nathan Queen, again joined by Andrew Fish.
And moving day is right. Everything is going to be moving. We've got some pretty high winds from offshore Hurricane Lee. Resulted in a wind delay partway through this round. You see Ben Callaway, Simon Lizotte, Evan Smith, and Niklas Anttila going to be the card we'll follow today.
Yeah, a bit more spread out than the first day. We got all the way down to 8 down and 12 down in first, so still attainable to get up to that lead card or even catch first with all of the OB strokes and 2-stroke swings out here.
Certainly. I've said multiple times on various courses that it's a good day for chaos. Today is that day.
And hoping for not too much chaos, Ben Callaway putting with that Roach. Going to see some Buzz and Nebula. Also going to see Predator Force, some Undertaker probably, and maybe that Athena as well.
And Simon Lizotte, we've seen him numerous times on coverage this year. Putts with the Electron Anode. Probably won't glitch today. Hex, Pyro, and Deflector are his mid-ranges, and then likely to see Vanish, Delirium, Dimension.
And Evan Smith from North Carolina going to be putting with the Flex D-Line P2. Going to see the Berry along with the Annex and the Ginger. Probably going to see some Athena, T-Bird 3, and Destroyer as well.
And Niklas Anttila, sponsored by Discmania. D-Line Flex 3 P1 is his putter of choice. MD1, MD3, MD5, Method and Mutant for mids. And then the standard overstable stuff going to be in high demand today. Hole 1, 813 feet, a par 4 with a water carry initially. You can kind of bail out to the left. And then we're going to play to a shorter pin position, tucked just inside this gap.
Davenport, Iowa, Bennett, Callaway.
Ben Callaway spent round 2 on the lead card and still in a tie for second. Wind today very swirly, likely to be mostly a head component, possibly left to right involved also on this tee shot.
Yeah, Ben had a rough hole 18 to let us have the pleasure of watching him attack this course today. See him settling himself before the tee shot on 1 and gets inbounds.
And Simon, defending champion of this very event and local favorite.
Nice high drive off and gets a pretty quick flip off to the right. This has got some good distance and a good line on it as well. Oh, and catches an even extra bonus roll. He's going to be in great position to attack this pin.
Yeah, not more than 150 feet, maybe 175 into the green. Evan Smith made a little splash last year on the Pro Tour and has put together another very solid year. Very slow and deliberate in his run-up, but a ton of snap at the end.
As you see right there, lots of snap. And started off with a good flight, but got kind of a wind bounce and then down. Is going to end up finding that OB pond.
Niklas Anttila.
And Niklas Anttila here. Now 1039 rated after the last update, the highest ever rated Finnish player. I know that's got to be a pretty cool feeling for him to have.
And the almost absent wind during Simon's drive now screaming in Niklas's face. Going to try to protect the shot, keeps it on hyzer, and now riding out to the left, perfectly safe.
Definitely the safe play. Trying to stay left of that water and avoid what happened to Evan Smith getting packed down into it. Now at the drop zone. Needs this to catch some stability now.
And kind of worst case scenario, he is double OB and pretty far right of the gap. Will likely take some relief to set up a better angle throwing 5.
Niklas pretty pinched off on one of these Christmas trees. May have gotten a little too aggressive there. Pulls it off to the right side, does stay in bounds, but not going to have a look. May have to take advantage of the short pin to try to get a look for par.
And with a much more dedicated hyzer, Ben Callaway approaches the gap, doesn't quite penetrate in.
And Simon Lizotte, after an incredible drive, plus a great roll, just going to have a standstill into this green. And you can't execute it much better than that.
Yeah, what a great way to start. Niklas with quite the scramble through the thick stuff. Both he and Evan essentially having to throw parallel to the rock wall almost.
Both able to get through those woods. Stay in bounds. Ben now for a circle 2 look for birdie. Gonna come up just a bit short. But that's all right, because there were only 3 birdies today here on hole 1 to start the round with the high winds, even with that shorter pin position. Just hard to get into position. Corey Ellis, Anthony Barella, and as you might expect, we're about to see right here, Simon Lizotte able to card that only 3rd birdie of the day today.
Makes me chuckle a little bit hearing some players earlier in the week speculate about how much easier this was going to play, that they didn't have to attack the green.
Moves us into hole 2, what is the 2nd easiest hole on the course today. Playing that shorter pin at 346 feet. Much less risky shot here. You might even be able to disc down depending on what disc you were using to attack your other pin. Can go with a bit more stability if you'd like, and really force it over and let it fade.
And Simon never right enough of the pin. It's going to get bogged down in the trees short. Should be a manageable putt, at least to approach, maybe not to make. Callaway dragging his disc from left to right, going to get caught short.
How do you feel about these shorter pin positions after playing them today?
I'm not sure we got a truly fair shake to assess them in competition. I really like hole 1. I don't feel like it changes a whole lot on hole 2. Niklas's shot here, very effective for this shorter pin, but also would have been just fine for the long. Hole 3, I think, is the most dramatic change.
Yeah, as you see there, Niklas pretty much in bullseye. Would be maybe circle's edge or just outside for the other pin. Evan, after that double bogey, double OB to start, he's going to put himself well inside circle 1, looking to bounce back with a birdie.
Lizotte is able to find a snaky route, and we'll have a tap in 3. Callaway, tailwind putt from below the basket. And makes good.
Yeah, smooth, unlike the walk to the basket.
And unusual scenario here. As noted, high winds. This round was delayed for about 2 hours, so Evan now in the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah, and putting with a bit less wind, it seems. It is gonna much later than he expected, bounced back from that double bogey that he most likely barely remembers anymore.
And less wind right now. Not sure it completely abated. Hole 3, 372 feet, a par 3, in the shorter pin position, playing off to the right. It makes the landing a little more delicate, because as your disc is moving to the right, that wants to continue traveling downhill. Hit the gap shot, need to carry over the initial rock wall to be inbounds.
Very specific shape, but this pin placement does allow it to play it slightly easier, I believe. Bin, though, pretty early left is going to make it inbounds, but pretty far back.
Niklas, so good with these fairway drivers. This time he's going to be one tree too early, and that double tap is going to drop him, requiring an upshot now.
Whoa, and well early there from Evan, but early enough to miss that first tree. He also is going to make it far enough to be inbounds and look to actually carry a little ways down.
And Lizotte, love the look of this. Back to Heiser, and a little bit of counter skip pushes him closer to the basket. 24, 25 feet.
Yeah, you can't draw it up too much better. Ben Callaway in a pretty tough spot here.
And sometimes the angles just don't line up favorably over here. Now going to have to throw another upshot for 3. Critical to get this one close and make a low stress putt. Bogeys are going to happen today. You just have to accept that.
Yeah, accept bogey and do your best to limit it to a single bogey when it does happen.
Evan also a little snookered on that left side.
Niklas, pretty favorable window there, not too much in his way, able to get up and down about 20 feet. Bit of a tester putt here for Evan for his par. And he is going to pull it just off to the right a little bit. Wind may have aided in that, and he's going to have to putt again.
And this time, with potentially a more difficult wind and the uphill, able to stick it. Holds it to that single bogey. And Simon, closer than I actually initially thought. Sorry, there's so many whiskers on the ground.
Yeah, just about 18 feet. Going to connect for his second birdie of the round, and he's already making a move here early on.
And Niklas going to clean up that par. And Callaway for his 4.
Maybe I need to save one for the next drive.
Time delay, dude. That's a courtesy violation.
That's a stroke. You're down by 3 now, potty mouth.
My name is Garrett Gerthy, also known as Double G, and I'm the founder of Double G Craft Jerky.
Double G Craft Jerky is an awesome snack when you have a hankering on the course. You need a little something to pick you up out there so you can really get after a drive or finish on a putt and capitalize.
When you're playing a disc golf round and you're hungry and you don't have a snack on the course, you start to lose focus, you start thinking about what am I going to eat for dinner. With Double G Craft Jerky, that's not a problem.
We are at hole 4, 246-foot par 3. Easiest hole on the course, but still provides a bit of challenge. You have to get off the tee, and With all the wind today, we'll see if we see more creativity or people going back to what they know best and just trying to hit a straight gap shot.
Simon knows his gap shots. Slows the putter down nicely. One good skip, one good tree bounce.
Yeah, I like the standstill shot, minimizing the body movement to really make sure he can hit that gap and guide that disc where he wants to, but still used his follow through.
Niklas gonna lean on stability. This is probably a mutant. And equally effective.
Yeah, might not look as clean, but there is a flex line over there, and he executes nicely.
Callaway, the touch of wobble lets the wind catch his disc and move it to the right, so he's going to have to throw upshot from about halfway up.
And here you see the wind picking back up again. Looks to be headwind at the moment. So Evan Smith gonna need some help, and does catch one of those guardian trees late. Gonna be inside circle one, looking for a birdie.
And Ben has to throw this so slow, but measures it very well. We'll take the drop in 3. And Evan from below the basket, once again a tailwind.
Yeah, gonna pick up his first par of the round, hoping for that to be a birdie. But Simon Lizotte now back to back, 3 under par. And that is that a T1 that I see there next to his name?
Yeah, it sure is. Absolutely the hot start that he needed, and so far hasn't had to work super hard for any of them.
And Niklas also 2 under par through the round. Just kind of sneaking in there.
Hole 5, 262 feet, par 3. A lot of water in play here. Forehand and backhand are both viable, but managing the wind is very, very critical. Can swirl, can drop, can lift. Simon with the backhand. This looks low, but it hovers enough to get in, and a bullseye hit for Simon Lizotte.
That's an incredible line, especially with all this wind. As we take another look at it, trusting that that disc is going to flatten back out. That must be a pretty overstable mid-range thrown there for it to fight back out like that.
Niklas playing with stability, hugs the inside corner pretty well. And does find inbounds at least. But look at those flags on top of the basket, Nathan.
Yeah, that wind is moving. Any part of the flight plate, top or bottom, that it finds, it's going to either pick up or push that disc down.
What is this, man? I quite agree with Ben. That looked pretty darn good and never fought back.
Yeah, maybe just caught a lull in what seems to be pretty consistent winds. That really didn't get that carry you're expecting it to get.
And now from a drop zone about 170 feet or so, Ben does well to miss land side. And does get the backstop. We'll have a putt for 4.
And Niklas well over here on the right side. Gonna be tough to give this one a real run.
He doesn't mess around with it at all. Evan gonna have to pitch this pretty high above. Ben Callaway does hold it to a single bogey.
Yeah, that will put him over par now on the round. He's looking to get that back, but a couple difficult holes coming up. Simon Lizotte still on fire though. Gobble gobble. Already has a turkey on his round through 5 holes. He is 4 under par. Speaking of the difficult 6th, here we are, 390-foot par 3, OB rock wall down this entire right side. You do have that OB pond over on the left as well. Backhand line may go to that inside gap, but you're going to see forehands, I think, mostly on this hole to play for either that straighter gap to give you a long putt, or inside is very scary.
Lizotte saws off the forehand, gets a favorable reaction back to the middle. That's absolutely a full stroke save, maybe even more by the angle. As you can compare this to Niklas, he's going to have to throw over OB at some point, 4 likely in his future.
Yeah, fortunate to be in bounds where it is not 5 likely in his future already. Pretty nice line to start from Evan.
And Evan, yeah, you love to see this. Flat swing, and it drags to the left, and then the wind starts to pick it up. Gets a nice dunk down to circle 1.
Yeah, circle 1, not something you see too often on hole 6, especially with how high that wind is today.
And Callaway gonna play the backhand. Once again, good drop to the middle of the fairway. Nathan, I feel like on a day like this, you throw the best shot you can, and then you know that something weird might happen to it. You just have to embrace that chaos.
Definitely so. On days like today, get your disc as far down the middle, exactly down the middle of the fairway as you can, to avoid as much as you can when whatever happened does happen.
Effective scramble shot from Simon Lizotte, and a good one to mid C2 for Anttila from out of position.
And Ben, a bit too aggressive there. You know he's not really trying to give that a run, but just too much pace on that. Gonna have to have a comeback putt now after a fortunate kick down.
Yeah, and he had to throw that firmly in order to cut through the wind. Anttila off the top. And finally, we're going to get down here to Evan Smith's drive.
Yeah, just outside the circle, still having to stretch out on a knee. Oh, and he's able to convert. What a birdie for Evan Smith. Having a bit of a roller coaster round so far. Just enough nose up on that to convert. That's going to put him at 1 over par on the round, and that was one of just 5 birdies on the day. This did play as the hardest hole on the course today.
And Ben Callaway unable to find center chains. Niklas with the spin, usually very pitchy, but having to manage the wind switches that putting style a little bit.
And now tapping in his bogey. Bit of an unforced error on that one. Got a nice kick down. Feels like he should have got away with the par.
Hole 7, 404 feet, a par 3, playing very straight up this access road. Backhand and forehand both play. The backhand hyzer flip or something with a little bit of baby flex in it is the way to park it. However, once again, wind conditions making this so challenging.
Yeah, although this is a wooded line, you do have that water over on the left, so pretty open and lots of space for that wind to creep in here. And you see it take a hold of Evan's disc and move it off to the right.
Should still be a reasonable angle from over there, as the red tee of Maple Hill usually goes from there. Lizotte early left does stay in, but there are no good options from that left side, Nathan.
No, and he is in danger of giving away another one of those birdie strokes that he racked up early on. Niklas also early left, doesn't get quite as detrimental of a kick though.
Callaway trying to use stability to his advantage, hugs the right side, big skip. And yes sir, gonna be in circle one.
All right, able to avoid that rollaway that we saw yesterday. Then Callaway, great drive down the middle, fighting that wind with the stability. Man, you just can't do it much better.
No, that's a gorgeous line in all conditions. Today feeling extra special. Simon Lizotte, good progress forward. Should put himself in position for a layup, or if he'd like to get a little spicy, might be outside circle 2 for a run. Anttila into circle 1, good scramble.
Yeah, we all know Simon's a bit spicy, so he definitely was giving that one a run. Catches those late trees though, should be in there for a bogey, hopefully. Evan not getting too far right, also has a clean line.
But this, with the poor reaction. Wentz has slacked.
Oh, and pulled off just to the right.
Simon does save his 4. And now Evan for his own bogey.
Yeah, going back up to 2 over on the round now. Niklas looking to scramble for a par and stay under on the round. We still have yet to get to Ben Callaway's drive.
Little quick for Niklas. Didn't keep it on the pole.
Yeah, hole 7. Being a bit rude to our card today. They may need to go visit that little food area over there and pick themselves back up a bit.
And Ben with the redemption. Good bogey, or I'm sorry, good birdie, keeping himself at 1 over.
Brings us into the island hole of 8, 364 feet. And pretty much a 350-foot water carry. Got us land on this island, or else you go to a drop zone. Ben Callaway, reading the wind, decides to adjust discs, and now it seems that the wind has gone down. He's gone back to his mid-range.
And what a great line. Plays the flip up very well and carries speed into the island. You're kind of tucked back in a little alcove here off the lake, so it can be calm at the tee, and then who knows what up ahead.
You see how quickly he went once that wind dropped, trying to take advantage of it. Evan Smith just a little bit low and then dances even lower in the wind.
Lizotte starts this on the left side. Doesn't quite get it past flat. And just not enough real estate. Gonna disappoint some 8 holes.
Just the mid-range inbound so far from Ben Callaway. Niklas has a good line on this, but it's starting to hold over right, not catching any stability. And he is going to end up less than a foot off of that out-of-bounds line. Oh, boy.
And not paying for his mistake is Evan Smith. Simon Lizotte probably makes the smart play, not the showman's play.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear the 8 holes clap for that one. I thought they were an aggressive crowd.
I think they're well coached up enough to give some smart to people who just throw the pure layup.
Niklas looked like he kind of gave it a half-hearted attempt and did end up sliding OB. But Ben Callaway able to back up back-to-back bogeys with back-to-back birdies. He's fighting his way around this round now.
Yeah, the way he was talking, on those first 6 holes, it sounded like he might yield to the temptation to give up on the round. But 2 quick birdies back to even and still in a tie for 3rd. Niklas with the good comebacker, and now Evan for the same.
Oh, and he's gonna a bit tentative on that putt as well with the tailwind. Gonna end up also carding the double bogey like Niklas. Man, it's turning into a bit of a rough go here.
Yeah, I tell you what. Hole 9, 650 feet, a par 4. Very wooded tee shot. Needs to move from left to right late to land on top of the hill, which leaves a very touchy downhill approach into a pretty compact green, fronted by out of bounds and then pretty quick beyond. Callaway might not be testing the 3, just going with a mid-range to try to keep it straight. He does have a lot of power, so this could be something he can work with.
And again, it seems like we've got a little wind lull here, as Ben does get a pretty good drive off. He's going to be in the open, but like you said, not quite at the top of the hill.
Lizotte was among the testers for this hole to help figure out where the tee pad should go. And I guess that practice has paid off, as he's going to fight through the left side a little bit, just beyond the blue tee pad.
Yeah, should put him in a good spot to attack if he feels like it.
Evan with the forehand. I like the way this matches the shape of the fairway. And as he's going to drag off to the right, that does open up a decent angle to throw down the hill, but we'll be totally blind.
Yeah, this hole played as the hardest hole on the course the first 2 rounds. Hole 6 won that today, but still the second hardest hole. As you see Niklas needing this to stand up just a little bit more. Gonna end up over on that left side.
Callaway, floaty putter, gonna get tagged down at the top of the hill.
That's not what you want to see if you're that player. Being at the top of the hill does not provide a fun upshot in tournament play.
Anttila trying to throw the around forehand. Going to get packed down by a branch. Kind of similar to what Callaway's result was. Evan's second. And yeah, that's in a terrific spot. Jump putt approach, maybe even a run from long circle 2.
And Simon, not quite able to give the island a run, but gonna pitch it down there and also give himself probably that circle 2 look.
And with the narrow gap and decent weight, he's going to be back edge of circle 1.
Niklas now also trying to get on that island. He's pulled this over to the right though and gonna end up short and fading OB. Continuing a rough stretch for him today.
Evan for 3, not quite, but will be in good position for his 4. 4, as we've seen, nothing to sneeze at.
And Simon Lizotte up in the air after a buzzard of bogeys, gonna bounce back with what seems to almost be playing like an eagle here on hole 9. The long circle 3 putt. Heiser's back just on time. Beautiful birdie there from Simon Lizotte.
Yeah, tell you what, he win or lose, Simon's going to do something cool.
I think the players were a little bit mad at hole 9 today after just 1 birdie per round. The first 2 rounds, 7 players able to get the birdie here on hole 9 today.
In spite of worse conditions, huh? Ben Callaway with the par save from a knee.
Yeah, there were still more people that bogeyed it than parred it. So still quite the tough hole to navigate.
And
Niklas gonna finish out a pretty tough front 9 there with bogey, double.
Well, there you see Simon Lizotte, Ben Callaway moving pretty good, even playing great today. Overall, +5 was still 1,000 rated. But Calvin Heimberg hanging on to that lead. Simon up to a tie for second. We've got the back 9 still to come in round 3. And lots more scoring, lots more action here on the Gatekeeper Media Chase card.
Yeah, look to see what that wind is going to do to our players, see if they can avoid those OB lines and those Christmas trees. Thank you guys for joining us here on Gatekeeper Media. Make sure you tune back in for the back 9. For Andrew Fish, I'm Nathan Queen. We'll see you guys out there.